We recently took a kids apparel brand in Los Angeles through our 60-day Growth Finder program. In this episode, I'm going to share exactly what we did and the results that we're seeing from start to finish. Still working with them today, seeing great things from a growth perspective, and I'm going to share it all with you on this episode. My name is Luke Smith from simplyconverting.com. In January, we started working with a brand in LA on their kids apparel. She, at the time, the owner of the business, didn't have too much experience or hadn't really run ads. I think had her account set up on Meta, but not Google, had maybe tried $5, $10 a day and thought, this is a bit overwhelming, I'm not sure what to do, and was focusing on the product. And that's where she felt more comfortable. So it made sense for us to jump on board and get her involved in our 60-day Growth Finder program, which is a lower investment, lower commitment opportunity to see exactly what works with your brand using paid advertising across Google, Facebook, and Instagram. And here's what we were seeing as a result. So when we started, what we're finding at the moment, especially with these smaller brands, if we take them through the Growth Finder program, and obviously we've got our full service where we deployed the SC3 method and we get email and everything really humming together. But in our 60-day Growth Finder program, we're finding that the best results are actually coming from Meta to get going, and then Google gradually will sort of pick up and start to build momentum a little bit slower. So we actually pushed most of the budget to Facebook. And in this example, all we set up was an ASC, Advantage Plus shopping campaign, which I believe is now called Advantage Plus Sales Campaign. And we deployed our ad copy frameworks that we run with brands that we found to get quick traction. We've got about 9 of those that we rotated in terms of messaging. And then in terms of imagery, what we've done is we've taken everything that the client had on hand, we dropped it into a share folder, we go through their socials and see what videos we can use and repurpose. We see if there's anything that was run before in the ad account that we can use, and we get going. We want to jump in with about 4 to 6 different creatives in that ASC, see how they're rotating, see how they're getting response rates. And what we're looking for immediately when we did this for this brand is, are we getting decent efficiencies in terms of delivery? So what does the CPM look like? Is that fairly low? But most importantly, what are the click costs? Because if there's not too much sales activity for a brand, the first thing you want to look at is it costing us a low enough amount to get people to the website so that we can get enough eyeballs on the website that a certain percentage is going to buy. If you're paying $6 per click, you're going to have an incredibly tough time as an e-commerce business to get conversions through on the website, knowing that that's probably going to sit somewhere between 1.5% on the low end to 4% on the high-ish end. It's going to work back into a very high CPA. So the first thing we're looking at is how efficient are the clicks, and mostly, in most cases, that ASC campaign on Facebook starts to get humming and the cost per click drops. So what we saw actually was it started at about $4, and over time it started dropping week on week. We could actually see week on week declines in the CPC as the algorithm shifted around to a few of those different ads that were working. And we also shut off a couple of underperformers and added in 1 to 2 ads every week or so in the early stages. So we got the cost per click down to about $1.50. By that stage, we'd started getting sales. We started getting sales at about, let's say, $25 per purchase USD. We're getting good click-through rate. So click-through rate is as if 100 impressions were served on Facebook. If your ad was served 100 times and 10 people clicked on the ad, you'd have a click-through rate of 10%. If one person clicked out of that 100, you'd have a click-through rate of 1%. And we're talking about click-through rate in brackets, link clicks. Big differentiation, because on Facebook, they also have a metric called click-through rate in brackets all. That's not the one you want to look at when you're figuring out what it's costing you or your engagement rates for people who are potentially leaving Facebook. That's because all factors in clicks on comments, likes, the see more button on the ad. It just includes too many other things. So it becomes a bit murky. We consider that more of an engagement metric. But if you're looking at click efficiency, use your click-through rate, link clicks, or cost per click, link clicks. Always look for that link clicks in the brackets, and you'll have a bit more of an accurate number there. And so we're in a very healthy place from a click perspective. We're starting to get sales through. We're spending around, we had a budget of $2K per month, so on the lower side of budget as well. We actually started lower. We started probably on track or on on pace to spend maybe 1,000, 1,500 per month. So being a little bit conservative, just seeing how it's working and rolling in terms of efficiencies. At the same time, we're getting up Google campaigns. On Google, what we're doing is a performance max and a Google search campaign. So the search campaign is actually going to be brand only. Even though it's a new brand, there's zero downside in setting that up and having it there, because what's going to happen is if you're starting to pick up spend on Facebook, you're going to build that brand awareness over time. So people are going to start Googling the brand, in which case it's best to have something on Google to serve to those people, and you'll be able to send them to the relevant pages on your website. It's going to be a very high, low cost, high return initiative just by having that Google branded search campaign there. And then we also have a performance max, because for ecom brands, you can start that with a lowish budget. It's going to start retargeting as well, automatically dipping in and out of those audiences that you're creating with Facebook, setting people to your website. And it's going to get into those shopping placements at the top of Google. Very, very key placements for e-commerce brands. So what we're looking at on the Google side is what products are getting impressions and clicks, and what products are getting interest, and what are people searching in terms of wording and categories of wording to get your ads to serve. And we're looking for correlation there. We want to know that the products being served are very specifically related to what they're searching on Google. If there's a mismatch there, then there's going to be some optimization needed. And so that's something that we would sort of pin for months 2 or 3, is that we need to look at maybe product titles and how they're interacting with Google searches to optimize that Google side. But most of the attention, because most of the budget, and we kind of shift attention to where the budget is in most cases, is on Facebook at the moment for this small brand. This is in month 1. We're starting to get purchases. This is where we want to look at the numbers. So let's have a look, and I'm just going to share screen here. So let's have a look at what's happened. This is from start to present at the time of recording, exactly what's been happening with budget across platforms. So we can see, as I said, most of the budget is going to Meta over time. So we've picked that up. You can see total spend here from February is pretty heavily weighted to Meta. So it was quite even to start with. We dropped Google pretty quick, and then we started running with Meta, and we started running with that ASC campaign. So this pink line here is us gradually increasing that ASC campaign. And we can see spend by week here. So looking at a January start, we spent about $140 a week, up to $280, up to $330. So you can see we're starting to slowly walk that budget up as we're seeing results. Now, what was happening here in month 1 and month 2 is we're starting to see what products are selling. And for a new brand, this is key, because you may not know initially what's going to get responses. And so a lot of our ads in this first month or month and a half are somewhat store specific and not product specific. So we're just getting people to the site, we're letting them explore, we're seeing what's selling out, and then we can create more product specific ads based on what's selling and what's moving in the Shopify store. If you're a new brand, you may not know yet. So you can always create those product specific ads to start with, but we like to have maybe 1 or 2 of those, but then really talk to the benefits of the products in general, and just be a little bit more general with the messaging, see what people check out and buy. Make sure you've got that first order discount as well on the side if you're a new brand, just to get those email opt-ins and purchases off the back with a welcome flow. Ideally, you've got email. This client was actually using Shopify Mail to start with, which we found a lot of clients have been doing, and I feel like it's okay to get going, and I'll talk you through what we've done in a second, but I would definitely move to Klaviyo as soon as you can, probably in months 2 and 3. And so what we found as we were starting to get these sales, so if we scroll down, we can start to see orders here. So we can see 4 orders for $280 spend, 9 orders for $330, 11 for $350, 17 for $550. So we can see order volume is increasing and increasing, and we can see total sales is increasing and increasing. And so here the game becomes, okay, well, how is efficiency? If we're increasing order volume and we're increasing spend, are we getting the same sort of 5-to-1 return on ad spend as we increase spend? If we are, we just keep going, because the margins are going to remain similar or the same per order, and the more volume you can move through at that point, the more fixed costs you can actually cover as an e-commerce business. So this is why we track blended ROAS versus MER. So blended ROAS is on the store level, how much have you spent on advertising across Meta and Google, and how much have you got back in terms of Shopify revenue. And so here you can see it's always going to start out a little bit slow. So you've got to allow for that. Ads is an optimization game. So when it started out, you can see that we're spending quite a lot. 50% of the store's revenue was spent on ads. Then it was 38%. Then it was 19%. So this is where we started to hit the sweet spot, is about February. So the ASC campaign really started to kick off. And I can tell you the big difference around this time was we started to see in the first month what was moving was a pair of shorts. So we created an ad that highlighted specifically these shorts, and it was a video ad that flicks through the different colors of the shorts, and it is backed by lifestyle shots of the shorts. So kids wearing the shorts plus pictures of the flat lay plus colors. So it really qualifies people and highlights the has a very strong visual impact, I suppose, and it's very specific to this product that we knew was selling well. So once we dropped that into the ASC, everything changed. It went to $15 CPAs and 5+ ROAS. And since then, we've simply been increasing spend. And so you can see here, when you're starting out, the CPA was quite high. So we're in February, it's about $30, $50, $50. Started rolling out that product specific ad because we saw that was the one that was getting the most traction and selling. Then we're $20, $16, boom. We start to increase ad spend. The efficiencies start to improve. The conversion rate is holding true, which is what we want to look at. So you can see the same here. This is the same data, but a graph by week. So we're looking at orders and cost per order at the moment. So we've got 9 at $37. We've got 11 at $32. You can see that the number of orders going up here from in February 17th, the week February 17th to February 24th, that went from 17 orders to 28 orders, and the CPA dropped from $32 per order to $20 per order. So we're adding volume to something that's working. It's really sticking. And so the game becomes, how much budget can this campaign handle? Because our margins and our metrics are looking good. We know there's net profit per order, and we know that we're increasing spend and the numbers are holding. So we just keep pushing at this point. And we're also tracking the conversion rate, obviously, because as you increase spend, as you widen the net, you can start to see drops in conversion rates. This wasn't happening with this, which is amazing. We're starting to get good traction. So we monitor all of these numbers and keep picking up spend. AOV is the other thing you want to monitor. One thing which was quite interesting is that we started focusing on these shorts. And so the AOV did drop from about $110 or so down to, what are we looking at here? About $90. So it dropped a little bit because the shorts were slightly lower priced, and people were seeing the ad for the shorts and buying 1 or 2 pairs rather than maybe buying the t-shirt and the shorts or the hoodie or the sweatpants or something if they would be sent to the website and just sort of browsing all items. So what we're looking at the moment is the app called Upcart on Shopify, which is going to increase that AOV back up. It's just been implemented, has some really good early signs. So you can see here, it really is a to and fro, a combination game between ads and the website and, us as the agency and the client to make sure that it's all sort of working and moving in the right direction. So now we're here in April at the time of recording, and what we've done is just picked up spend again. And the last 3 days, you can see at the time of recording, it's around 14th of April, you can see we're now at a $13 to $16 CPA, and we're looking at 12 orders per day. So we've increased spend to the point where we're on track to spend around $5K a month at the moment. And the numbers are just getting better. So these are really good signs. The key difference between even the first 2 months and now, where we've started working ongoing with the client, is we've adopted their Klaviyo. And so we've gone from 7 orders a day with just the ads to moving them and migrating them, which we've just finished, from Shopify to Klaviyo. And that's allowed us to get better flows in place, increase the opt-in rate, so people that hit the website are more likely to give their email. And we've started seeing, with a slight budget increase, orders go from 7 a day to 12, and we're going to increase that. We're going to see 20 orders a day pretty quick. Once we get a couple more flows enabled in their Klaviyo account, we start managing that so that the emails and the campaigns we're sending out match the ads that we're launching, and the whole system just starts to tick. Now, on Google, what we're seeing is the brand campaign is starting to get awareness. So we're starting to get a 20 times return on that branded search campaign, because now we're spending enough on Facebook that the demand is shifting over to Google, and people are seeing the ad on Facebook and then Googling the brand on Google. The branded search campaign is getting them to the website. They're clicking, seeing the first order discount on Klaviyo, opting in, buying, saving 15%. And it really is a process now that is all working together. That's what we call the SC3 method. We've got Klaviyo, we've got Meta, we've got Google, all working together, all managed by the same stakeholder that knows what's going on each, so that they can all work in tandem. If you need help with your ads, if you found this helpful, this is a start to finish process with a client. When I say finish, we're just getting started. But this is, I think, 2.5 or 3 and a bit months now. And we're just seeing some really great signs. So we're going to keep pushing this and see how much money we can make for this client. So check it out at simplyconverting.com if you need help, and subscribe to this channel if you want to follow along with more client case studies.